guys, welcome back to my channel. Well, what I have for you today is 4 really easy Dollar Tree Valentine DIYs. These are so simple, so let's get started with the first one. Let me go ahead and I'll show you what you need for the first one, and then we'll get started with these, okay? For the first one, you are just going to need one of these You Fill My Heart Valentine cards from the Dollar Tree. Or any of them will do, but I thought this one was so adorable. So you need one of those. Then you're going to need some of those Tumbling Tower pieces. If you do it like I did it, you're going to need a box and probably just a little bit out of another one, unless you want to paint. I didn't want to paint, so I'm just using these darker ones, okay? And then some ribbon of your choice from the Dollar Tree. I've picked these. I thought these would be really pretty. Okay, you're going to need some Elmer's school glue or double-sided tape. I can't find mine. I don't know what I did with it. So you'll need some either school glue or double-sided tape. And then I had my husband, we had some of this plywood just laying around, and I had him cut me a piece of this. You could use the foam board from the Dollar Tree if you wanted, but I wanted to do this. And then you'll just need scissors and or a paper cutter. It's that simple. So let me go ahead, flip the camera down, and we'll get started with this first of 4 Dollar Tree Valentine DIYs. Okay, the first thing you want to do is take some scissors or the paper cutter and just cut this card right in two. That's all you have to do, all right? And then what I had him do was cut me a piece of wood that we had, like I said, left over. You could also use the foam board, like I said, and cut it. This is 5 by 10. That's what I had him cut it, all right? Because I wanted to put this on in the center and then put my Jenga blocks. But I think this is even cute like that. Look at that. Wouldn't that even be pretty? Okay. And you don't have to paint this at all, okay? So what I'm going to do is get my school glue. I'm going to put this on here. Like I said, if I had double-sided tape, I would definitely do it. You could hot glue it down if you wanted, but I'm going to do this for this project, okay? And then just try to, like, you can measure this if you want. I typically always eyeball, okay? And then I'm just going to press this down. Okay, and this is what we have so far. Like I said, if you wanted to just do that, would be gorgeous, okay? So now all you have to do, let me go get my glue gun. Okay, I've gotten this far. I thought I'd let you see what it looks like. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so now we're going to take one of these and we're going to put them where we think we want them, because I want it to stick out just a little bit on each side. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this one first. And I didn't need to put it all across. Then I'm going to get this one. Okay, and this is such a farmhouse little craft, I think. Okay, now this is what we have so far. That is so pretty, and you wouldn't have to put well, you would have to put that on the bottom. You could hang it, but I don't want to hang mine. What I'm going to do is glue 3 of these and 3 of these like that, and then I'm going to put this down in there so it will stand up, okay? So let me see how I'm going to do this. Basically, it's going to match up perfectly with the front and the back, because I want it to have a little stand, and I'm going to lay it flat, okay? So what I'm going to do is just put it right here on this edge, put a little bit, put it right down on here, Do the same thing with this one. The same thing over here. Get my spatula so I don't burn myself. Okay. Okay, and that is what we're getting so far. Then I'm going to take it and do the same thing over here, okay? So I'm gonna lay that down like that. Gonna line this one up like this. And with this, I'm going to have to line it with the very bottom of this edge here. And then we're going to do this. Okay, so this is what we have. Now you could paint the back if you wanted. I just don't want to mess with a lot of paint right now. Not a whole lot, but look, you can see how cute that is. It stands up. Now I probably later will go along and paint this and the sides so that it looks, you know, like one solid piece. But it kind of doesn't look bad because that sort of matches the inside there. So this is our first Valentine's DIY, but we're not through. You could leave it like that if you wanted, but I want to make a bow. So let me get this cut off and I'll be back. Okay, I decided I wanted to make a funky bow. So I just took one ribbon from each of those and cut them. I wasn't specific. I did it a little over 8 inches. And then I chevron the ends like that, okay? And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold this one in half because I don't want it to be real big. Then I'm going to fold, but I need to flip this. Kind of fold it and then just kind of pinch it, because I'm not going to have it be a real big bow. Then I'm going to take this one. This one isn't really double-sided, but this ribbon is so small, I think I'm just going to leave it like that and put that right there. Pinch it right there. Okay. And then I'm going to take this one. Now this one I am going to have to flip. They're not wired ribbons, so it's a little harder. Put it in the center, then get about where I think I want that bow. I have videos on my channel on these funky bows. Try to flip it to where this back side is front. It's not wanting to cooperate. And then just stick it right here. Doesn't have to be perfect, okay? Then we're just going to get some of this chenille tie from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to cut that off about right there and just twist it, okay? And then all we're going to do is start flipping this and opening this up till it's a really cute little bow. And I probably should have used more of the ribbon than just the 3 little pieces that I used. But you'll get the gist, and if you want to do more, you definitely can. It would be prettier, I think. Okay, then I'm just going to take this, put some hot glue on the back, put it in the center, and then you have some time now. You can kind of fix it where you want it, pull it. But I just wanted a little sweet bow. And that's what we have. I think it's cute. I would use more. I'd probably use like 2 of each of those ribbons. I think it would be fuller and prettier, but I love this. So this is our first little Valentine's DIY. Okay, for our second Valentine's DIY, what you'll need is one of these little signs from the Dollar Tree that are dimensional. You could do this if you had the solid one as well, but I wanted to put it on one of these, so you'll need one of those. You'll need some of these little hearts from the Dollar Tree that have the cutout and that heart in the center. I think it's so cute. All right, you'll need some scrapbook paper of your choice. I use 2 separate kinds. I've had this for quite a while, but I wanted something sort of shabby chic, so I got that one out of it. And then I thought that was just precious, so I picked that one out, okay? So you'll need whatever kind of scrapbook paper you want. You could use 3 different types if you wanted. Then you'll need a hole punch, and I'm going to be using some paint, either the Folk Art Metallic Antique Gold, like this, that's that color, or the Metallic Inca Gold, that's that color, and I don't know which. You'll need some paint brushes, just something little like that, maybe something like this if I do any dry brushing. Then you're going to need some Dollar Tree jute, okay? And then this string, this pink ribbon, I don't know where I got it. I've had it for a while. It could have been at Joann's. It could have been at Dollar Tree. I really don't know. Okay, and then then you're going to need like some little flowers, and I've had these. I picked these up last year at Walmart. They were very inexpensive. I think I got a big bunch for $5, okay? And then I took my Cricut. Now, if you have letters from the Dollar Tree that are big enough, you could use that, but I used my premium vinyl textured metallic. And then you'll need some transfer paper. You'll also need one of these Dollar Tree sanders, okay? So let's get this going. Okay, the first thing you want to do is just kind of sand some of this glitter off. I'm not going to do a lot because I don't want to breathe a lot of that, but just a little bit of it. Okay, just about like this. Now what I would recommend, I'm not going to do this, but I would paint this all white to cancel out all of these bright colors, okay? That's what I would do, okay? And then once you did that, then you could decoupage this paper on there, but since I've had COVID and I'm much better, I'm going to, be using some paint, but I'm trying to stay away from a lot of it for just a little while, okay? So to get this image, what I did is I just took my scrapbook paper that I wanted, flipped this upside down on it, and just traced around it, and it gave me this heart, top of the heart, okay? Then I did the same thing for the center. I just traced around it, and the next piece, and the bottom. It's that simple. You just take a pencil and trace around it. Now I'm going to wipe and make sure a lot of that glitter did come off. Now you could use hot glue. I would recommend decoupaging it. I think it would be so pretty. But I'm going to do the school glue again, and hopefully it will stick. That's why I wanted to get a lot of that glitter off. Okay, and right here I just turned this upside down where this little hole is, and I'm just going to take my hole punch, put it right there, and punch, and now I have a hole. Okay, so then I'm just going to get my school glue, put it on here liberally, but like I said, I would decoupage it. It would seal it, it would protect it, it would be so beautiful, but I'm not going to do it, okay? Now, I'm just going to make sure I have it where I want it. Okay, and I'm going to press down, and that is what we're getting so far. This is so simple, but so cute, okay? Same principle, put your glue down. These are very inexpensive little Valentine DIYs from the Dollar Tree, and very easy. Okay. And the school glue seems to be working very nicely, and that's what we're getting so far. Then we're going to take this piece. This would definitely be a 5-minute craft if you just had a limited amount of time. Okay, put this right on there. That is what we're getting so far. I think it's transforming this heart and it's making it so much more upscale. Okay, then we're going to do this bottom piece. All right, and that's what we have so far. This is so pretty right here. You could stop if you wanted to, but we're not going to. We're going to set this aside. And now we're going to get one of these hearts, okay? And I want to take, I don't know which one of these, because this is the color gold that I had on my Cricut, my vinyl. It's textured. So I think I'm going to go with this antique gold from Folk Art, okay? And I'm just going to pour a little bit of paint out in a Dollar Tree little dish. Pick that up in the summertime. They're really useful to use like that, okay? Then we're just going to pick this up and just paint on this heart. Just like this, okay? So I know you know what I'm doing, so when I get this heart painted, I'll be right. So I think I'm going to take a little bit of this Inca gold and put it out and take this brush, get a lot of it off, and just kind of hit this heart. I don't think it's really making that much of a difference. Let's look. Oh, it is. I just didn't have enough. Okay, so what we're going to do next is put this heart down, get our glue gun, and I want this positioned kind of off a little and tilted like that, okay? So I'm going to put some glue there, there. Okay. And then I'm just going to put this about right like that. Okay. And that is what we're getting so far. I think that is such a pretty remake of that sign. Okay. Then what I want to do is take this love that I printed out on my Cricut. Okay, so here it is on my transfer tape. I'm just going to put it right here. And I think I'm going to, do I want it there? No, I'm going to put it up here and I'm going to kind of angle it. Okay, and I'm just going to transfer this to this paper. Okay, this is what we have. I love it. It is so pretty. You could stop right here if you wanted to, but we are not going to. Okay, I'm going to take one of these little flowers, like I said, that I got at Walmart, and I'm going to cut this really flat. And I'm going to just glue that right there. I wonder if I could get that flatter. Okay, and I'm just going to glue that right in there, all right? Right in the center of that little wood heart. Okay? And that's what we're getting so far. Oh my gosh. Okay, then to hang it, I took these two, the Dollar Tree Jute, and then this ribbon that I picked up, and I tied the jute to here. It's hilarious, but I tied it to my drawer here and to my stove, okay, so it would stay taut. Then I just started wrapping this around, and I put tape on the end so that it would be almost like a shoestring. I hope you can see that. Almost like a shoestring. Okay? And I'm just going to thread this through because I thought this would give it such a, it picks up the brown and the pink colors. So I wanted to do that, but be sure if you cut it that you're real careful where you cut it, okay? And I've got to pull some more through. And you could do this several ways, okay? And then I'm just going to knot it. Just like that. And then I'm going to tie a knot up here. And you could depend on how far you want it to hang down, put your knot. And then if you cut it off again, make sure you definitely put tape on the ends. But this is what we have. Let me show you what I did to that ribbon. I hope it's picking up. It's gorgeous. There you go. You can see the ribbon there. But this is our finished little DIY. It is so pretty, okay? So that is our second one. Okay, this is so easy. You just need a picture frame from the Dollar Tree. This is the one that has the 3 sections and it's long, okay? And then some more scrapbook paper. I picked this up at Michael's last year when it was a hot buy, but I love how that just says love, love, love. And then this one with those really pretty hearts, okay? But you could do whatever you wanted. Then I have this foam board from the Dollar Tree. It has the white or the pink. I'm going to use the pink. And then you'll need this Love You XOXO card from the Dollar Tree. It's really simple, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to flip this over. And we're going to take this out. Okay, to get this foam board cut like I wanted it, I just put this on top and traced around it, okay? So what you want to do is take your foam board and then cut these however you want. I wanted the pink on there because I thought it was really cute. You could leave it just like that. And I just sort of eyeballed it to get it like I wanted it. Okay, and I'm going to use my glue. You could use tape if you wanted to. Okay, and I'm just going to glue this on the foam board unless for some strange reason it doesn't want to stick. Okay, so you can measure these if you want. I'm just going to eyeball them, okay? Unusual and definitely one of a kind, okay? Okay, there's that one. Let's move that one down. It's one good thing about using glue. If you see you need to change something, you can. Okay, I need to get this side. It's not wanting to stick. Okay, all right, and that is what we're getting so far. Okay, now we're just going to take these loves that I've cut. All right, then we're just going to put this on top of this and leave you some, it'll be just a little bit all over, okay? And make sure you have your loves going straight up. I can see me messing up. Okay. All right, and we are almost done. Okay, then we're going, and then this is what you have after you do that. It's so cute. All right, then we're going to open this up. Now you could either try to peel these off, which is what I think I'm going to do. I'm just going to peel these off because they have these little things that make them stand up. And I'm just going to stick this right in the middle. This could not be any easier, okay? Just got to get that to peel. Once you get it started, it'll come off, okay? All right. That's what we have so far. Then all we have to do is flip this over, put it in our picture frame, and put the back on our picture frame. And this is what we have, okay? So this is such a happy little DIY for Valentine's, okay? So that is our third one. You're going to need one of these chalkboard Valentine signs from the Dollar Tree. And then you really should try to get that glitter off so you could decoupage it. But this is scrapbook paper that I found in that same set that I got at Michael's last year. Our little sander, and I'm going to go ahead and sand this. So what I'm going to do is just put a little glue. Because, like I said, I'm not going to decoupage right now. And hot glue will hold anything. Okay, and this is our fourth DIY, okay? I think it's so pretty. Okay, let's take a look at them. Here is the first one. I love how sweet that turned out. It's just so pretty. Okay, then here is our second one. I think that's just as cute as it can be. So like Shabby Chic, even Farmhouse. I love it. Okay, and then this one is really cute. Love you, XOXO. I did get the back on it. It's a very snug fit if you use that foam board from the Dollar Tree. But look at that, how pretty. And then the last one is this, and I think it is just so adorable. I think it totally elevated that sign and was very easy to do. Now I got mine a little off right here, but like I said, I would sand it and then Mod Podge it. So we will go into my utility room and see how this looks just sitting around in there. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. It really helps me out on YouTube. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you would subscribe and become a member of our family. And if you subscribe, hit that notification bell and set it to all so you won't miss an upload. So I will see you all Wednesday for another Dollar Tree haul. I found so many new items I had never seen before, so I'm really excited to show you that. And then Friday, we're going to have some more DIYs. These are going to be sweet DIYs and sweet gift ideas. So I'm looking forward to Friday's video too. So let's go look in my utility room and see how this turns out. Okay, here they are hanging in here in my utility room. I think they are so sweet. We'll look at this one up close first. Sorry about that glare. That is just so pretty. And then this one, I believe, is my favorite. I love that, how I twisted that. And I just love all those colors. It looks so fresh and sweet. Farmhouse, sort of, Shabby Chic. Then this one is adorable. I think those little ribbon is gorgeous, and I love how that can just set up. Sweet little DIY.